Hey James, how are you?
Hey, what's going on, Ruble? How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Hey, we have James R. Elliott, Be Unstoppable, with us today, and then he's going to be asking me some questions about how to use neurology to succeed in business. He's a client of mine, he's a friend of mine, and he's from Canada. And so, if you don't know about this from other parts of the world, Canadians are really amazing people. They are really friendly, fun people, very nice people. So,
True.
it's always good to be connected with people from Canada. So we love you guys. Okay.
Right back at you. Right back at you.
Awesome. So today's topic is how to use neuroscience to grow and succeed in your life and your business. And I mean, this will be beautiful. And as you're asking some of the questions, please share with us like some of your insights about this topic as well. So this way, it will be multiple level benefitful for my audience who are listening from different parts of the world in 8 different channels in YouTube, in Facebook, and all other places.
Yeah. Any questions you have about success? How do you use success? Rather, how do you train for success? Absolutely.
Yeah. And by the way, guys, if you have a question, you could post your question on Facebook or YouTube or wherever you're seeing this video, and we should be able to get those questions here. And when we get those questions, we'll be happy to answer them here as well. So please be patient with us because there are some questions that people asked already. So we would do our best to answer your question. But if you send your questions right now, we'll be happy to answer them as soon as you can. Soon as we can. Awesome. So what is the question that you have about like how to use neurology to grow your business?
So you and I were talking about neurons and different types of neurons and how to use the neurons or different types of neurons for success. So let's start off with that.
Okay. So most people there's an echo. Okay.
Yeah, can you hear an echo?
Yeah, it's a free gift for you. The echo. Thank you guys. I'm just messing with you. Okay, let me see if I need to mute something to make the echo go away. Is it good now? Do you still hear an echo? Wilma. Hi, Wilma. Yeah, hopefully there's no echo. Please let me know if you feel an echo. Good now. Okay, awesome. Yeah, it was like our passion and excitement showing up as echo. So we were talking about neurons. So there are like 3. I mean, we could talk about so many things, but I could talk about the 3 specific neurons, 3 specific type of neurons. And if you don't know what a neuron is, basically these are the cells inside of your brain. There are 3 specific type of neurons that are relevant and important when it comes to succeeding in business and life. So I want to start with the first one, which is called mirror neurons. These neurons are neurons that basically is used for a specific purpose. So until around 2000, people didn't know what was the use for this neuron other than they were used for moving your body. Like, so they thought that this was used for motor, like physical movements and stuff like that. So it's movement. So they called it motor neurons. And then they realized a part of motor neurons have a secondary capability, which is mirroring emotions for other people. So if what you are feeling, I feel it because of mirror neurons. And some people, if that is dysfunctional, they might not be able to feel emotion for other people. So mirror neurons are what we use for feeling other people. That's number 1 type of neurons in this context. And I'll explain in a second why this is useful. Then we have spindle cells. So spindle cells are another type of neurons that basically what it does is it actually help you detect what they are feeling. So you are feeling what they are feeling, and then you need to detect what you're feeling. And then we have something called oscillators, which is a different type of neurons that will help you to figure out what do I do next. Somebody is screaming and running at us, and then mirror neuron is, oh, that's what they are feeling. Okay, and they're running towards us. What are they feeling? They're feeling anger. Okay, what is next? Maybe I need to run away, or maybe I need to fight with the person, or maybe I need to figure out something. Or somebody is like so romantic and running towards you with so much passion and love, and this is the love of your life, and the person is coming to you. And at that time, the mirror neurons will make you feel romantic, and the spindle cells will make you feel, oh, they are feeling romantic. Oh, that's what I'm feeling. And then oscillators will help you help you figure out what to do next. Why is it important? Because humans are connection species. Because we are connection species, what happens is whenever we succeed as a collective. Whenever we fail as a collective as well. So whatever your friends, your family, your enemies, your dad, your mom, your cousin, your sister, whatever they are feeling, you are feeling that too, whether you know it or not.
Yep.
So we need to figure out a way to use that for your own benefit. I think
that you're right. It can be a double-edged sword, right? You can have people that are overwhelmed by that and extremely overwhelmed by that, and you can have people who can use it and who are able to your point, use it to their benefit, be empathetic with people, empathic, and really understand people. And that's better for sales, it's better for business, better for relationships. But again, it can be quite overwhelming if you don't learn how to calm it or control it or block it or shut it off when it is too much or when you don't want it. AK, time to go to bed.
Sure. Yeah, so that's why we would use these neurons to help you regulate your nervous system and figure out what you're feeling. Sometimes you don't even know. Like when we were a kid, like our teachers used to say, at least in the US, people will say, hey, tell me what you're feeling. Describe what you're feeling. How did you use that? You use a specific type of neuron to get to that. So that's the essence of what it is. So that's good. Okay. Hopefully that is clear. James.
Yep. Yeah. So how can people use, I have my own thoughts too, but how can people use this or is there some brain hacks or ways to optimize the use of these three neurons, Ruble?
Okay. So one is, I'm going to talk about a specific way, a specific strategy that we could use. So I'm going to introduce two more simple concepts into this mix of neurology here, which is, one is, there is a concept called cortical consolidation. So cortical consolidation is basically, imagine that you have like 5 acres of land with a lot of trees, and all the trees have like lot of bushes and lot of branches that are like not controlled. It's uncontrollably grown, and the gardener will come and try to trim the branches so that the tree has some sort of shape and it's not hanging to the floor, and the broken branches are taken off and stuff like that. Just like that, your brain does something to consolidate the number of connections that you have with your neurons. In other words, each neuron has approximately 1,000 to 10,000 connections with each other. And then every night your brain is like, this is too much, guys. Let's try to consolidate this. And that process is called cortical consolidation. So I just want, and I know you, look, what the heck? Why am I learning this? This is neurology class. No, it's not. It's very simple. And I'm going to explain why this is really important. On a parallel plane, there is another thing that is happening. It's called memory consolidation. The same way, whatever memories that we have about life, about business, about other things, our brain is consolidating every night when you're sleeping. When you're resting, it's consolidating to see what is important, what's not important, and it is trying to sort it out to make it easy for you to process this information, to be very simple. So when these two things are happening, your neurons are feeling a certain feeling. So we already talked about mirror neurons and the spindle cells and oscillators. And then I already talked about the cortical consolidation and memory consolidation. Between all of this, one simple thing, and why did I say all these things? To tell you one simple thing, which is right before you go to sleep or right after you wake up, whatever you think about for the last 10 minutes or the first 10 minutes, that's how your brain is deciding what is the context of your life. That's how your brain is deciding how does it need to be wired in order for you to move forward. So that's why if you are thinking about all the failures in our life, all the horrible things that happen in our life, anxiety, all the people who abused us, and all the things that happen to us that we become a victim of, that's what your brain is going to consolidate your memory and your wiring to through cortical consolidation and memory consolidation. And the emotion that you're feeling at the time, that is the emotion that's probably what is going to feel for you for the next day. And if you keep repeating that, that's what you're going to feel for the rest of your life. That's what we could change by focusing on what is really important for you, right before sleep, that 10 minutes, and right after you wake up for that next 10 minutes.
Well, because you're right, because our brain at that point is still the first 10 minutes or last 10 minutes before you fall asleep. It's still in the different brain waves. Obviously, alpha is waking. Beta is waking. Excuse me. Alpha is kind of a bit of a daze or a trance, and then there's delta and theta, the lower brainwave patterns. And to your point, you're in a very I'll say programmable state and learnable state those first 10 minutes and the last 10 minutes of your day. And that's when, to your point, Ruble, things like affirmations are great during that time. Your visualizations are the most powerful during the last 10 minutes of your day, the first 10 minutes, because you're almost self-hypnotizing yourself. You're in a very, very programmable state, and a very a state where your brain, like you said, is learning, is organizing, is optimizing things. So again, visualizations, affirmations, do it in the first 10 minutes. And the last 10 minutes of your day. You can do it other times too, but at least do it in the first 10. And I promise you, it'll make your day entirely different as well. And again, this is based on neuroscience. It isn't just, think positively. It's literally visualize and affirmations during that time where you can literally program your brain for an amazing day, amazing week, month, year, or a not so amazing one. And it's also why, again, like you said, when you sleep, your brain organizes things. It discards what not useful, that processes, it programs and puts things into our permanent memory that are easy for us to recall. And we've learned that's why sleep is so important. And that's why all these people who are walking around high on coffee and have, 2, 3, 4 or more coffees a day, or a tank of coffee, it's literally a tank of coffee versus a cup, and not enough sleep. You think you're productive because you're saving time and you're awake more and you're working longer hours, but you're actually less productive. I think you'd probably agree, Ruble. You're less productive because your brain isn't retaining as much, it's not learning as much. The deciding ability is not as good. You may be running on a treadmill for longer hours, metaphorically speaking. You're working longer, but you're not going anywhere like you would be with good, solid sleep, 7 to 9 hours a night.
Yeah. So, yeah. And those who are not familiar with some of the terms that James said, by the way, thank you, James, for bringing that brain wave concept into it. So just like we have waves in an ocean, just like we have waves and radio waves or light waves, there are waves in our brain that decides what we are feeling.
And thinking, yeah.
So that's what so we define them as alpha or delta or theta based on the frequency of those waves, like how high they are vibrating, right? And in when you are angry, if you look at if you scan your brain, then you could see that you are in a different brain wave than when you're calm and when you're feeling romantic and when you're happy and things like that.
Yeah. Right? So stressed, or anxious versus anxious. Yeah, no, you're right. It's you're right. It's brain activity essentially, and your brain is open to more things or closed to different things. To your point, different states or brain waves states that you're in. So it can be very important. In fact, Ruble, one of the greatest exercises he's got me to done is create a declaration. And thank you for that. I was a little resistant at first, but then I realized, wait a minute. I teach this stuff. First 10 minutes, last 10 minutes, listen to this, 2, 3, 4 minute declaration of your life, who you are, what your purpose of your life is, who you want to help, who you want to work with, who you don't want to work with, and why the heck you want that and what it'll get you. So Ruble is an amazing mentor, and I love working with him, and I'm glad we've become friends over the years because he's so smart. And again, using a lot of neuroscience, with probably most people not even realizing it, in what he does and what he teaches, and that's why what Ruble does works so well.
Yeah, thank you. And James, let me acknowledge this publicly in front of several hundreds of people from different places. I could see the alignment in you right now. That alignment piece where you are totally aligned to be helping other people to be unstoppable, and then I could see that energy, and I bet everyone else who's listening can see that too, right? So could you tell us what you do, and how you help the world? So this way, anybody who wants to reach out, how they could reach out to you as well. Before we continue to the next question.
Sure, thank you. Yeah, let's talk about some more great stuff. But so again, my name is James Robert Elliott. What I do is I help people be unstoppable in the pursuit of what they want. So basically, starting or growing their business and just keep going, and letting nothing stop them, letting nothing get in their way, or if something does get in their way, to go around it, over it, under, or through. Some of the tools I use for these are some of the tools of the elite, like NLP, something called Neuro-Linguistic Programming, which essentially is a mindset. It's a tool rather, and a trail of techniques and strategies to take everything in your life to a whole new level, do everything better, and communicate yourself and articulate what you want to communicate effectively, because life is simply a collection of relationships and a series of communications. Well, I mean, without effective communication, there's nothing. No career. There's no relationships. There's no work. There's no life. There's no fulfillment. So NLP will take everything we do to a whole new level and help you speak out, help you command attention, help you take the action you want, face the fear and take action anyways, and really find what jazzes you in your purpose. And it's been NLP and timeline therapy have been responsible for my massive transformation in terms of losing 60 pounds, in terms of becoming confident for someone who's picked on years ago, and now becoming a leader and helping other people and being really fulfilled and loving what I do. So in a nutshell, again, help you either transition out of a corporate job, or you just even, start and grow your business and help you become an unstoppable entrepreneur.
Yeah.
That means to you, whatever you want to do with your business, and basically make great money doing what you love and helping people. I really resonate with people who want to help people. And again, you should be doing what you love in the world, because that's why we're here. And I think our mission is all to help the world and help people somehow. So
I think one thing that we should do is we should post your picture of you with 60 pound more weight, or where you almost look like me. But we should actually post a picture. It's phenomenal. Oh my gosh, he turned around his health to a completely different level. And guys, if you are wondering, if you already know NLP and you're like, oh my gosh, I know NLP, I don't need to probably figure out NLP from somebody else. Keep in mind, people like Tony Robbins, people who are
Brendon Burchard.
Brendon Burchard, they all came from background of NLP. And essentially, 80% of what they're teaching is, especially for Tony Robbins, 80% of what he teaches is based on, I would say more than 80%, generally speaking, is based on the concepts of NLP. That's what he's teaching. Yeah. So it might not be, I did go through my own learning and learned NLP myself. And there are so many, most of the people who are successful in their different levels of life, they all use NLP knowingly or unknowingly in order for them to communicate effectively. Because once you're able to communicate effectively, then you have the game. So if that's something that you want to do, send a direct message to James, and then he would be a great resource. He's a master NLP practitioner, and he has helped hundreds of people to get trained on NLP and become leaders in their industry and in their career and stuff like that.
Become an unstoppable leader. Yeah, you're exactly right. unleashyourpower.com or James at unleashyourpower.com. We'd love to connect. I have actually a picture. Do you want me to share my screen real quick? I'll show you a picture.
Go ahead. I don't know whether you can share your screen. Yeah, share your screen.
Share real quick.
There, right? Share your screen. Show your picture. Let me see the bad side of you.
Let's see here. Can I share my screen? This is going to work here?
I hope so.
All right. Can you see that? That old picture.
I need to add you to this. Add to the stream. Okay, hold on.
Got it.
Add to stream. Okay, there you go. This is you. Oh my gosh.
That's the old me. A little different, eh?
That's me. You were more cute at the time. Whatever. I'm kidding. Okay, that's good. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing.
Too funny. My pleasure.
So that's about the neurology side of it. So you guys, we already talked about cortical consolidation. We already talked about memory consolidation. We already talked about three different type of emotions. In neurons and what it does. But I wanted to talk a few seconds about a concept called tribe. Because of this certain level of feeling. So, for example, if a group of people are feeling a certain emotion, everybody is feeling apathy, or everybody is feeling anxious, everybody is feeling stressed, or everybody is feeling depression. If a collective is feeling like that, then the collective calibrates with each other using mirror neurons. And if the collective is recognizing what they are feeling is anger, let's say, and then that collective recognizes that using the spindle cells, and then they would do something about it, collectively using their oscillator neurons. So what does that mean? The mobs, the people who do crazy stuff, the people who do like outrageous things, because for a mob, according to neuroscience, for a collective mob, the intelligence of the collective drops by 50%. Why? Because their emotions are calibrated with each other. They collectively start thinking like a human chimpanzee. Like we go down to the lower levels of our evolution. When that intelligence drops, we do stupid stuff, right? So that's what tribes are formed. But the important thing, so why is the tribe idea important right now? The entire world is going through a sub-tribe experience right now. What do I mean by sub-tribe? A sub-tribe is a tribe where maybe we should put us like full like this. So this way I could see your face more, right? So sub-tribe is a group of people who are disempowering themselves and others. So either they are disempowering themselves or they are disempowering other people. So a group is thinking that, hey, I'm a Christian. I don't care for Muslims. I'm a Muslim. I don't care for Hindus. Then that happens. What happens is we create this tribal energy, and then we calibrate that energy using mirror neurons, spindle cells, and oscillators. And then we create a system, and we say, I am right, everybody's wrong. And at that point, like whether it is Democratic or Republican or independent or far right or far left or whatever it is, at that point we are locked into a tribalism. And a lot of things that we see in the world, the nationalism, the lot of racism and all kind of stuff, it all comes from this level of unconscious, subconscious conditioning in a tribe. It's a fascinating concept. So instead, we will talk about in a second. James, you want to say something, and then we'll talk about how to remedy this. Go ahead.
I think you're right. I mean, even in what was the movie? I think it was Men in Black. Tommy Lee Jones said, "The first to start, people are dumb." But to your point, it was kind of funny, but to your point, it's just how them drop 50%. When people run on emotion, that's why a lot of, like you said, mobs or massive crowds during panic, especially, or fear or pandemonium, they're not thinking with their reasoning brain. You're not using your cerebrum and your prefrontal cortex. You're literally using your brainstem, the lizard brain, the monkey mind, and you're running on that because you're running on fear or anger or emotion or whatever. And just wanted to touch on that. You're absolutely right, and we have to be careful of that because you're right. It's unconscious. No one decides, well, I think I'm going to throw a rock into this window. It'd be a great idea. It's all unconscious behavior. So we got to really think about our thinking and be aware, not just for this, but to be successful in anything. Think about your thinking. Is this the right thinking? Am I thinking the way I need to be successful? Is this thinking getting me to my goals? Is this type of thinking or questioning or behavior going to make me successful? Is it helping me? Is it good for me? Is it getting towards my purpose, my goals, my mission? And really thinking about our thinking and almost detaching and disconnecting and looking at yourself from maybe a third-party perspective and thinking about your thinking, looking at yourself, well, wow, I'm thinking, I'm behaving this.
I'm so happy that I picked you for this interview. This is beautiful, this discussion. The reason is, let's talk about thinking for a second, because human, I was not planning to talk about that today, but this is a good opportunity because you mentioned that. Let's explore that for a second. So if you look at what is a major difference between human and other animals, other animals might be able to respond to a stimuli. For example, a lion is jumping at a zebra. Zebra can naturally sense that and run away from it. But zebras cannot think that if I go to this particular place at like 7:32 a.m., the lion will show up. And if the lion shows up, I'm going to attack him with my lipstick. That
heels or hooves or something. Yeah.
Whatever, right? Yeah. So that, lipstick with a knife behind, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
Only I just made it up, but only humans can do that. To a macro level. A micro level, other animals can do that too, to protect their life, protect their stuff. They have the survival level instincts, but only humans have imagination. This is fascinating. This is a fascinating feature the species have, right? So the fish is not imagining and come up with, you know what, screw up. These humans are like, basically destroying us. They came up with this movie called Finding Dory. what an irresponsible thing these humans are doing, right? Because it was our movie. They stole our movie, they stole our character, and they made $1 billion from it. Fishes cannot do that, right? They just sit around and they just move around. They just move for survival. That's all they could do. But at the same time, on Sunday evening, the fish is like, oh my gosh, this is Sunday evening. I had a good weekend. Tomorrow I have to go to work. This is so stressful. I cannot handle this stress. My fish boss is so rude, and he was like abusive and did this thing and mean and stuff like that. Fishes cannot do that either. So every gift, every superpower comes with a responsibility, right? So I have my dog here. He's jumping around. That's the background noise here. I try to keep him here for my Facebook Live for emotional support. I'm kidding. But you got the point. But the thing is that fishes don't have the imagination to fight. Fishes don't have the imagination to create either. But humans do. This is the same imagination that Einstein said imagination is more important than knowledge. He didn't say imagination is better than knowledge. It's more important than knowledge. I just studied. I went to the original source, what he exactly said. Many people say that imagination is better than knowledge. It's not better than knowledge. If you're killing 3,000 people on 2 buildings using a plane, that's an imagination. That's not better than knowledge. It is worse than knowledge. But it's important because it's important enough. If you're using your creativity to destroy people, it's not better. But if you're using it to invent something, or Alfred Nobel, he came up with the TNT, and then he didn't want to be known for finding, explosives. And then he changed that thing, and he said, most people don't even know that Nobel was basically came up with some explosives. Now everybody thinks that this is a guy who has the prize, the Nobel Prize, right? So he basically rebranded himself. For his imagination that created for a good thing, which was used for a bad thing, and he came up with a creative solution. He put a couple of $1 million, so that that money will pay for the Nobel Prize. So the bottom line is humans have this fascinating capability of thinking about thinking. Imagination is thinking about thinking. That's like you said, it's a prefrontal cortex capability. Because our prefrontal cortex is like, if apes look at it, or the monkeys look at it, what's wrong with these humans? They have like so much forehead. They're not beautiful at all. Why do they have this much forehead? The forehead should be behind it, right? A little bit far behind, because we have a projected forehead because we have a much developed prefrontal cortex. And that much developed prefrontal cortex is what is letting us think about thinking. That's one thing that defines us. And some people call it consciousness, some people call it whatever else, but thinking or something else. But the bottom line is, let's call it consciousness. Being able to be conscious about what you're thinking. I could decide whether I want to end the sentence, right? And monkeys are like, they're just finishing. They have to finish the sentence. They have to do it, right? Monkeys cannot stop in the middle of a sentence because they cannot speak. They cannot give a full sentence. That's why they cannot stop. But the bottom line, you guys get it, right? So we use the imagination today, most of us, to destroy us, because we use imagination to create anxiety. We use imagination to create depression. We use imagination. Yeah, go ahead.
No, continue. I was agreeing. Yeah, fearing the worst. One of my mentors says, if we're making everything up anyways, because the future hasn't happened yet, and to your point, our imagining. By the way, guys, your brain, your unconscious mind, your subconscious mind, the 95% of your brain doesn't know the difference between make-believe or real. That's why, when someone tells us something when we're young, it can go in and it can limit us, or it can lift us up. So careful what you're telling yourself, by the way, again, because it doesn't know difference between imagine or real. That's why, and that's the principle why visualization works so well, because you're literally making up what's happening, and your brain's like, oh, I have that, or I'm going to do that, and I'm going to go get that. So that's why visualization daily.
But finish the sentence. You said something about your mentor said about if you're making up anyways. Go ahead, finish that. I want to hear that.
Making it up anyways. Why don't you make it up good? Instead of making up, oh, this is going to happen, I'll run out of money, and this is going to happen, I'll get laid off from my business with this and that, or the world will blow up. Why bother making that crap up? Because it hasn't happened yet. It's not real. We're making it up, right? And we're using our imagination in not a very effective way. So change that. and use your imagination in an effective way to always visualize what you want. And if you do get worried at any point or fearful, stop that. Like stop it. Tell yourself to stop it. Pattern interrupt. And then just immediately visualize what do you want to have happen? What do you want to achieve in that talk, that meeting, that presentation, that sales call, that decision, whatever, the tough talk, whatever it is. Visualize what you want to have happen right then and there. It's going to reprogram your brain, again, because it can't tell what's make-believe, what's real. So feed it what you want to have happen, and that 95% of your brain that's really in control will go get it for you. Because again, if we're going to make it up anyways, you might as well make it up good, guys.
I love that. That's well said. That's beautifully said. Hey guys, you should definitely check out James. He has some amazing stuff. As you could see, he has some really deep understanding. We didn't plan this interview. We just thought we will talk about a few neurons. And it turned out to be this, right? So basically, we thought about, like, we'll talk about some interesting stuff about neurology, and then he brought up the brain waves, and then we went into a completely deeper conversation about humans and how we could use imagination to grow to the next level. And if you could, by the way, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, you could go subscribe it here. And if you haven't gotten our free productivity training, which might be available for a few more weeks, if you want to get that, you could go to rublechandy.com, and on the front page you would see a way to get that productivity training for free. Basically, and then this is for entrepreneurs who want to scale their business to the next level. It's one of the best training that I did on productivity.
I agree. I loved it. Yeah, I agree. If you guys want to be more productive, check it out. It's a great free resource. I loved it, and yeah, it'll take your productivity to home.
For sure. And James, would you post your would you post your? Do you have a common link there to post your website?
Here I do actually. Private chat comments.
Yeah, send me a private chat, and then I would make it a public chat. Maybe I might need to put that. Yeah. So guys, use your neurology to grow your business to the next level. Use your neurology to grow your business to the next level. So James is gracious enough to give his email address. Reach out to him with any questions about brain, about NLP. If you have any kind of addictions that you're going through, that you're stuck, if you're feeling anxious or something like that, and then if you have challenges related to that, then feel free to reach out to him, and he would be able to support you. He's one of the best in the industry for helping that. He has something called timeline therapy, which if you were to go attend a Tony Robbins event to do that, you would end up paying thousands of dollars for an extensive timeline therapy, which basically it's not from Tony. Somebody else invented it. A guy called Chad James invented it. Yep. Was it Chad? Yeah. So I used to know his son, and right. So timeline therapy is one of the most powerful way to basically heal any major challenges that you have gone through and move to the next level. I use a version of that in my own work, but James is an exceptionally talented person in helping you overcome challenges, and he has a team of people who could potentially help that. This is not a promotional event for James. I'm just bragging about him. He's my client, and
Thank you, sir.
So that's what I'm doing. So in conclusion, this is one of the most powerful topic that I want you to learn about. As you could probably sense, both of us learned a lot about this topic. And this is something that I would like you to explore, like learn what mirror neurons are, watch some YouTube videos, or learn from somebody, or watch some TED videos on mirror neurons, and then study how human emotion work. Because it's based on those emotions that we create tribes, and it's based on those sub-tribes. Oh, we never shared the idea about super tribe. Let's spend a second about super tribe. So essentially, you calibrate yourself to a higher level of emotion, and then attract people, connect with people who are in a higher level emotion. So that is the mirror neuron. And then feel what you're feeling internally in your body and name it, and then do something from that higher state of mind and create a group of people around you who does all this. So higher emotion, higher level of emotional state, and then do something from that higher level of emotional state. Then you up level in your tribe. You create what I call as a super tribe. When you create a super tribe, what happens is you automatically move to the next level, because you are the tribe leader who created it. So create super tribes in this world when world is uncertain. When we are going through uncertain world, when more people are depressed, more people are anxious, more people are like thinking about like ending their life. When that happen, this is a time for you to step up and set a new standard, go to the next level and say, you know what, I'm here, I'm going to take care of this. I'm going to create this tribe. I'm going to create this super tribe with my high levels of energy, high levels of confidence, high levels of enthusiasm, so that you bring other people around you. And once you have a few people following you, even if it's like one person or two people or maybe 5 people following you, then you have a tribe. If you have 6 people, you have a tribe. And from that tribe, if you're able to start growing this tribe and stay in this level for a few months, then you have created a new level of up-leveling in your world, in your finances, in your health, in your relationship, in your spirituality, in your emotions. That would lead you to move to a completely different green pasture in your life. That's my final comment. James, you want to add something? And we go.
Yeah, because you're right. You're attracting, and maybe we can do another one about attraction, how attractive you want. But my fun thought is, if you're attracting in your life what you don't want, customers, situations, people, you name it, occurrences, and if you're not attracting the situations, the success, the money, the customers, the business partners, the whatever resources that you do want, then there's something to look at. And that's a whole another live we'll do another time. But just look at that and look at life and situations and your outcomes as your mirror. And I'll leave you with this thought: if you don't like your outside, change your inside. And we'll talk more about that next time, but that really is the key to success. And every time I do work on myself, I change, I shift, I grow internally. For example, I just got connected to this amazing gentleman who connected me to a really great high-end speaking agency and booking agency. And that's something I've been looking for a while. And just doing the work, I wasn't even looking for it. It just magically happened. And the connections, the things that happen are almost it's like, how did this happen? How did all these stars align right? But again, when you work on yourself and you do the work, you will, and that's what I love to teach, you will align with and attract what you want versus what you don't want. So we'll do a whole series on that one. But until next time, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much, Ruble, for having me.
Yeah, work on your internal organs, the liver, the kidney. I'm kidding. Work on your inner psychology, so you move to the next level, guys. Right. Thank you so much. This was amazing. We had a long time together.
This is great.
Hanging there. Yeah. Okay.
You got it.
Thank you.